The Yeti. The Yeti, a historical and cultural analysis of the Himalayan anthropoid legend. The Yeti, also referred to as the Abominable Snowman, is a crypto-zoological entity said to inhabit the high-altitude regions of the Himalayas. The creature is generally described as a large bipedal, ape-like figure, covered in white or gray fur and standing between 6 and 10 feet tall. Reports of its existence have persisted for centuries, with accounts varying across cultural, geographic, and temporal contexts. Despite a lack of empirical evidence, the Yeti remains a prominent figure in both regional folklore and global popular culture. Origins in Himalayan tradition. The concept of the Yeti originates primarily in the oral traditions of Himalayan communities, particularly among the Sherpa, Lepcha, and Tibetan peoples. In these traditions, the Yeti is typically regarded as a powerful and sometimes spiritual being associated with the natural world. Tibetan Buddhist texts refer to a creature known as the Migo, which some scholars interpret as an early reference to the Yeti. Local nomenclature varies, with terms such as metoh-kangmi interpreted by Western explorers as man-bear snowman. In the indigenous cosmology, the Yeti is often considered a guardian of the mountains or a force of nature, rather than a literal biological organism. It is sometimes connected to religious taboos concerning sacred landscapes, particularly those areas deemed inaccessible or forbidden. Western interest and crypto-zoological classification. Western interest in the Yeti intensified during the early to mid-20th century, particularly following reports from British mountaineers during expeditions to Everest. In 1921, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Howard Berry described finding mysterious footprints at high altitude, which Sherpa guides attributed to the metoh-kangmi. This was misinterpreted by journalists as Abominable Snowman, a term which soon gained currency in Western media. Subsequent expeditions, particularly those in the 1950s and 1960s, attempted to locate the creature using a range of methodologies, including photographic surveillance, footprint analysis, and interviews with local inhabitants. Despite high-profile endorsements from figures such as Sir Edmund Hillary and explorer Tom Slick, no conclusive physical evidence has ever been recovered. Within the field of cryptozoology, the Yeti is often cited as a potential example of a relict hominid species, possibly surviving in isolation. Some proponents have speculated it may be related to Gigantopithecus blacki, an extinct genus of large apes known from fossil records in Asia. However, this hypothesis lacks robust scientific support and is considered highly speculative by the broader scientific community. Scientific investigations and DNA analysis. A number of modern studies have attempted to apply rigorous scientific methods to the Yeti phenomenon, primarily through genetic analysis of alleged hair, bone, and fecal samples. Notably, a 2014 study led by Brian Sykes at the University of Oxford analyzed over 30 hair samples attributed to the Yeti and concluded that many belong to known species, such as the Himalayan brown bear or the Tibetan blue bear. One sample matched the DNA of an ancient polar bear, raising further questions about hybridization or misidentification, though later research challenged this finding. The prevailing scientific consensus remains that Yeti sightings are the result of a combination of misidentification, folklore, and psychological priming under extreme environmental conditions. Visual distortions caused by snow, isolation-induced hallucinations, and large mammals seen from a distance, such as bears standing upright, may all contribute to the persistence of the Yeti myth. Cultural significance and legacy. Despite the absence of verifiable evidence, the Yeti continues to serve as a powerful symbol in global culture. It has been extensively commercialized and fictionalized in literature, film, and television, often portrayed as a misunderstood or elusive creature emblematic of the wild, untamed frontiers of the Earth. More significantly, the Yeti represents a focal point in the intersection between indigenous knowledge systems and Western scientific inquiry. The enduring fascination with the creature highlights broader questions about the limits of scientific exploration, the resilience of myth, and the complex relationship between cultural narratives and empirical investigation. In sum, while the biological reality of the Yeti remains unproven, its presence in the human imagination is incontrovertible, warranting continued study as a subject of anthropological, psychological, and cultural interest.